welcome to this video in which we are going over random numbers in Scratch. So you can see I've kind of got the start of a project here, and because we're looking at random numbers in kind of a simple context, I've just gone for the idea of this sprite looking like a six-sided die. You can see it's just one sprite, but under costumes I've kind of duplicated it and I've got myself the six kind of standard sides of a die. With the costume numbers, costume 1, costume 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's costume 6 with the 6 pips on it right there. Okay, so let's just put that back onto costume 1, and of course it's the same sprite 1 there. Okay, so let's have a look at a couple of things we can do here. First thing, well, I guess the first thing to address is where do we find how to generate a random number in Scratch. It's there in operators in the green blocks, and it's right there, pick random 1 to 10. Okay, so this will give us a random number between the two values, but also inclusive of the two values. So let's just make that 1 and 6, sorry. So when we click this, we get these random numbers, you're going to see, and it 6, right? So it can include that final value. Keeps going to 6, then to 1, it can include 1 as well, the lower value, that's fortunate. But it will also pick sometimes the values in between, right? So you see, sometimes it's going to be the values in between, and 3, 4 hasn't come out, have not come out yet, but there they were. So that's all the numbers. You can see it just gets that random value. Okay, very useful. Notice they're whole numbers as well, they're integers. Okay, so we can use this in lots of projects. Really fun. Let's just look at the basics of it. Let's go over a couple of ideas. So hey, why not do like a die rolling kind of simulation? So let's go to variables, and we're going to make a variable, and we call it something like rolled number, I guess. So rolled number, right, using camel case there. Okay, and let's say set not my variable but rolled number 2, and then we just pop in there, pick random 1 to 6. Of course, if it were a 10-sided die, we'd change that to 10. A 100-sided die, we'd pop that to 100, right? Okay, so set rolled number 2, pick random 1 to 6. And then we need some kind of event to trigger it, and let's just have when this sprite clicks, maybe. So when you click it, you're going to get that random number. And I guess we want to say that as well. So we will just say whatever it is. So come back to variables, and we get the roll number. There we go, and say whatever there. So we've created this variable roll number. If you don't know about variables, please go check out the technique card on them, learn more about them. Very important. And we set the value in roll number to a random value between 1 and 6 inclusive, and then we just say whatever's in that variable roll number, so which will be whatever was stored in it from the random number. Okay, so let's just have a look at that. So we click this, and we get it just to say, and you can see the roll number variable value there. Okay, so that's quite simple, and that's one thing we can do. Of course, you can use this in many different contexts in all of the projects that you're coding. Please do. Okay, now let's think about costumes. Because at the moment the costumes are always just showing that 1 no matter what. So let's think about costumes. Well, looks, in looks we've got costumes, and we could just switch costume 2, and we're just using numbers, so we can just pop that in there, right? We've got costume 1 looks like the 1, and costume 2 looks like the 2 with the 2 pips, and so on and so forth. Okay, quite simple. Let's just drop that in there, and let's try that now. So now when I click it, it's actually switching the costume to the costume number of what it is. That's interesting. It's not, oh, of course it's not, because we're no longer using the variable, so ignore that. In fact, let's get rid of that. That confused me, so it may well be confusing. Let's get rid of it. Let's just not get rid of it, but just so we don't see it. See, we're not actually using that variable in this code, so let's get rid of that as well, so it's clear that's not there. All right, let's focus our minds. It's just this. When this sprite clicks, we're switching the costume to. It's got nothing to do with the variable. It's all about the random number. So like that, click it, and it just switches itself to one of those random costumes. Of course, you can combine those where it says it as well, or you could say you rolled this. You can put it into games, etc., etc. Okay, so let's just come out of the full screen like so. And we can also get it to go to random positions, and we've got a whole, kind of card on this on how to get it to move, how to get sprites to move in Scratch. So check that out for more detail, because there's more than one way to do that. But just since we're going over random, we'll look at this, the XY way of doing it. So in motion, we've got here, we go over all the glide and all that. Like I say, more detail, see the other card on it, moving sprites in Scratch. Let's just use the go to. And with the coordinates, then again there's a technique card on coordinates. Let's do negative 200 to positive 200, and we'll use that for X and Y. Again, check out the coordinate cards if you're not quite sure how that works yet with X and Y. But since this is looking at random, I'm just looking at random, so we're going to put that there and put that there. Now when I click this, you see it just goes to those random positions on X and Y coordinates based on the random values being brought back from that. And maybe from this one we can just drop that event out and we'll have some, maybe just when green flag clicks instead, something like that. Okay, so when green flag clicks it does that. Of course you can put it into forever loops as well, but just for now, just to demonstrate random, you can see every time we do this we get that random X and random Y, and it goes there, goes to that random position. Very useful in many different projects. Essentially random is just a really useful tool. It makes our projects more interesting, it makes it more fun, especially interactive projects and games. Okay, so I think we covered everything there that we needed to on our practical technique card about random numbers in Scratch. Hope the video was useful, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, until next time, please take care.